Welcome to season 2 of the Romance Podcast. Man, we are so excited to be back for not one, but a second season.
I know, it's awesome. A lot has happened.
It's
been very busy.
It's been a very busy, Here's the deal. First off, we got the green light for season 2. So in honor of that, you can't see it unless you're watching us on YouTube right now. I am rocking a season 2 shirt we had specifically made for the Romance Podcast, right?
Well, you're lying.
Well, thanks.
You're going to kick it off with a lie?
Yeah, well, thanks to our guy, Joe Johnson from Obvious Shirts. With our TV show, The MVP Game on Marquee Sports Network for season 2, he had these shirts made for us.
Yes.
And I thought, well, hey, you know what? two media things, the TV show and the podcast, so I can wear season 2 for both.
What are the odds? Another second season.
Yes, so this will be the last time I wear this shirt, but again, you can follow our podcast on YouTube if you want a visual, especially because Kenzie is so beautiful, especially with her new hairstyle.
It looks really bad right now. I kind of wish you wouldn't have pointed that out.
No!
I don't want anyone to judge. It's supposed to be wash day for my hair, but now we're doing this podcast.
That we knew about for a long time.
No, because we changed the recording date. Anyways, you told me this morning we were recording, so don't lie. Do not lie, undergirl. So I kind of look like trash, but it is what it is.
You look beautiful. Stop it. You look beautiful. You do. She just rolled her eyes.
Second lie. He's like twice, and we're like 2 minutes in.
She just rolled her eyes at me. Again, you got to check out the YouTube because there are some things that happen visually, like her attitude and her eye rolls that you don't get on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
It's an immersive experience.
It is. It's an immersive experience. It is. All right. So like you were saying, a lot of things have happened since, season 1, season 2. We are recording this in early March. And yeah, we kicked off 2025 with a bang, hosting and co-hosting Countdown Chicago,
right?
The New Year's Eve special on ABC 7 Chicago with our good friends Ryan and Val, Cheryl and Terrell, Jose Sanders, Justina's the executive producer. She picked us out for this thing 4 years in a row. It was awesome. We had 4 hits that night, and 3 of the 4 were perfect.
Right. So we had a lot of drama going into the new year. I was like, this better not be how the rest maps out. So basically I was supposed to take shots because it was like, hey, I'm not pregnant. Like I was the year before and I didn't get to participate.
And the year before I did like 7 shots because you were pregnant. I did mine and yours. Right. So this year was kind of like your big comeback. You were going to do like 8 shots because you weren't pregnant.
I was going to take on the responsibility of the shots. Okay. Yeah. So we spoke with them beforehand about the shots.
Yes.
All right. And I kind of thought, we didn't really go over the alcohol, but I kind of thought they would be like delicious. Like, you know what I mean? Like, shoot your girl, lemon drop or something, right?
No, we were at a Mexican restaurant. It was straight tequila. Warm tequila.
These are warm tequila shots. And you know the massive shot glasses, like the very tall, long tubes?
Yeah.
They were filled to the brim.
Yeah.
Okay. You would think there'd be just a shot in there. So truly they were like doubles.
Yeah.
Like that's more than one shot if you fill that to the top.
Yeah.
So we went over all of it. They do these really fun, like, plane shows, like the shot planes, right?
Yeah, with sparklers and the whole nine.
Yes, very fun. So we wanted to catch that on TV, of course, right? Immersive experience.
Live TV, mind you.
Yes. So they were supposed to walk in front of us with the shot, stand next to me so we could start taking the shots.
Yes.
I watched this plane.
First off, it wasn't ready yet.
It wasn't ready.
We go live on TV and the shot plane is not ready. Like I see him in the corner of my eye trying to like restart it and relight it and everything.
And it's okay. Like we're used to live TV. They're trying to like light the sparklers.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, we're so excited to see it. We can get them a couple seconds.
We could talk. We can talk.
So like, we can't wait. This is an amazing show. Now they're trying to light the sparklers and that's we're killing time.
Yeah.
But the plane walks in front of me like it's supposed to. Fantastic. And it keeps going. The flight took off without me.
Yeah,
okay. So it goes around the restaurant. And we have several minutes to fill. We have to understand this is our responsibility.
It's our longest hit of the night. And it was all centered around this shot plane that the restaurant wanted to highlight.
Right.
And it needed to stand next to Kenzie. By the way, the plane isn't like a drone. There's a girl walking the plane around. The girl had to stand next to Kenzie and just stay there. Stay there.
What she did was actually harder. So I don't understand. So I'm like, okay. And my husband's talking to me. And I swear I'm trying to process what he's saying. But I'm also like, is that plane going to come back? And I even made a joke about it. Because I'm like, okay. Well, where's my plane? Like with that, and I see the girl and I go, come here. And I wave her over and she stands next to me and I'm like, okay, good. She's back. Let's do this thing. I take a couple shots. I spill all over myself because I can't believe the shock that it is warm tequila and they're filled to the brim also happened on live TV.
Yeah.
So one comes dripping. I'm like, oh my God, this is really difficult. She leaves again.
Again, she takes off. The whole bit was 8 shots, okay? And Kenzie got like, what, 3, I think?
Which is actually like 6 because they were doubles.
But like 3, physically 3.
Yes.
And
she
takes off again. So again, listen, I'm not going to bore you with like all the inside details and everything, but the hit is over and we are both mad. We are both mad, not just mad at like certain people, but like mad at ourselves. Like this is our biggest hit on New Year's Eve on the biggest show in Chicago. Like the ratings are gigantic, #1 across the board. We felt really, really disappointed in ourselves and in the whole setup and everything. Again, 3 of the 4 hits were great, but that one hit that we're talking about was the longest hit we had on TV, and we felt like it wasn't great. Now, fast forward to like we get home, take our clothes off or your makeup off, and actually I
would say change. We were like ripping our clothes off. We were changing out of dresses,
out of the dressy
suits.
clothes we were wearing, and we go to watch it back. Now, full disclosure, it was nowhere near as bad as we thought it was in our heads. Okay, watching it back live on TV, it seemed like it was just a bunch of chaos. We were having fun. You were drinking, spilling.
We were live at a restaurant bar with shot planes, so it seemed hectic, but like in a normal New Year's Eve check-in way.
And you're always harder on yourself than you are on somebody else. So we were really hard on ourselves that night because we're like, oh man, like that was our hit. That was our bit. But like, again, a lot of friends and family who didn't know anything behind the scenes, they're like, oh my God, that was awesome. And the plane
so funny.
And the shots. Like they didn't notice. They didn't notice anything was going on. Nothing was wrong. We knew, but no one else seemed to know.
Right.
What?
I was going to say, I actually wasn't mad at myself.
You weren't.
I was pretty mad at everybody else who didn't listen to me.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I had heavily communicated and really gone over it. So I felt like the people that I had talked to didn't pay attention to what I said, is what it felt like.
You were mad. You were mad. I will say, yeah.
Was very mad. I don't like when people, and I think it happens to women more than it happens to men, but when people flat out just ignore you and don't pay attention to you. And it was so prevalent that that's what had happened because my husband and I had spent, we spend time on our scripts, time writing them, time memorizing them, time like really like, what if we did this? And what if we're actually
prepared. We're prepared.
It sounds, even though when you watch it, it's chaos. It really is organized chaos. Yeah. It's kind of like Kramer's from Seinfeld, how he flew in, but they said he practiced it over and over and over again. It's supposed to come up like, everything still needs to happen, even though it's fun and like things can change a little bit.
There's got to be a rhythm and a whole plan.
There has to be. You can't just like freeball it, right? Because it's supposed to be fun. And it makes me mad when I come in and I have my notes and I go over it. And I literally stand there with people and go, we're going to walk from here to here. And I walk there with them and nobody pays attention and you get ignored. That makes me mad. I don't like when people waste my time. I don't like when people blow me off. And again, I think it does happen to women more often where people are kind of like, oh, whatever. They don't take you serious. And that's what bothered me. It'd be one thing if there was a miscommunication or, through the game of telephone of who said what. That made me mad because I was very specific.
I feel you on that. I think it would have been easier to stomach if like I messed up my lines or you messed up your lines. It was the fact that like through no fault of our own, this wasn't as organized as we wanted it to be. But I digress. Again, we were very hard on ourselves with that bit.
Yes.
Majority of people, including the executive producer, Justina, were like, that was awesome. And that's all that really kind of matters, that everyone thought it was fun and whatever. We're giving you guys a behind the scenes look at like, we didn't feel that way the night of, that bit. And again, she was mad. And if you know anything about Kenzie, you can tell when she is mad. She hides nothing.
What does it mean? I didn't do anything bad.
It was all over your face. You were very mad. It was not a great situation. But I'll tell you what, you learn from it, and now we know to even like over communicate, right? You learn from it. That's all you can do.
Something's gonna get communicated.
Yeah. So, well, speaking of New Year's Eve, like, okay, again, 3 of the 4 were perfect. The one, it was fine. Whatever. The whole night was awesome. The ratings were phenomenal. Again, we're so blessed to be part of this team. It's ABC 7 Chicago for New Year's Eve because the ratings are just like, it's like Super Bowl in Chicago when it comes to ratings, right?
Right.
But New Year's Eve, people do resolutions and everything, right? Well, I have stumbled across somebody who has, I don't really know her body of work, but this one theory has really changed the way I think and kind of my mental state and kind of changed my life in a better way. And I'm just discovering her, but this theory that I learned is like really, really, really good. So you ever heard of Mel Robbins?
Yes, because she's very trendy on the socials right now.
Yeah, so I saw her like on TikTok or whatever with this let them theory. And it really has changed my whole life, my whole mental state, my whole way of thinking. And I don't want to like, bite what she says, but bottom line is it's like if somebody wants to do something that you didn't have control over or you didn't recommend or you don't agree with, let them do it. Let them, okay? Couple examples she gave out in the past were like, if you have some friends that planned a dinner or a trip and they left you out, let them, okay, whatever. Let them go have fun, If, somebody that you really, really like and you have a vibe with or whatever, just, doesn't feel the same way or what, let them. All right. It is what it is. You can't control everything in your life. Let them, I think about parenting too. Like, obviously Marino is very, very young, but with Tristan, I don't think you even know this, but he gets into my car in the morning with his backpack on, a very big backpack. And then he struggles to take it off in the car. And so I'm like, dude, take off your backpack before you get in the car. And we've gotten like arguments about it because I'm trying to help him.
You and Tristan.
I'm trying to help him. And I'm like, yo, take it off before you get in the car. And then this let them theory kicked in. And I'm like, you know what? Let the kid wear his backpack, the big old backpack. Yes. Let him wear it in the car and let him struggle in the car and eventually realize like, oh, it'd be better if I did take it off outside the car.
Tristan and you are the same. And this is what's funny because you guys do argue a lot. Because you're like, Tristan, do it like this. Tristan, do it like this. And he's like, I'm going to do it. And it's not detrimental. It's getting in a car with a backpack, things like that. They fight about the right way to do it. But you don't like to do something when it's not your idea either. And Tristan doesn't like to do something when it's not his idea. You're the same. Yeah. You're like, no, this is how. If I was like, honey, did you know this is an easy way to scoop something? You'd be like, no, I know. I like to scoop. You act the same way he does. Tristan's got to go, it would be easier? Like on his own. Or he's not going to want to do it.
But I have years and years of experience. This little man has 10 years of experience. And like with backpacks, probably like 4 years of experience.
But you're the same way. And you've been the same way. So you didn't always have this many years of experience. And you still always were like, what's the best?
I was always wise beyond my years,
Yeah, see? It's okay when he does it.
Another thing that, from a parenting standpoint, is that, in the winter here in Chicago, even though it's getting warmer, he wears like long socks under his jeans or his sweatpants, right? Mm-hmm. And he always puts the pants on first and then the socks. So the socks are always like squished. He always struggles with it. And I'm like, dude, put your socks on first, then put your pants on. And then they'll be straight. They'll be like, they won't be cringed up. And again, we would fight many, many times, argue about this. And the let them theory has changed everything for me.
Thank God for both of you, because you just need to let him put his pants on. You shouldn't even know how he puts his pants on.
Just do you, buddy. Like do it, and then struggle when you're putting your shoes on. Like go ahead, like whatever. You'll find out in the long run
because that's how he finds his own way of liking to do. He's got to like. My brother was also always a learn from experience person. Like you can't tell my brother something bad. He's got to do it and go, well, that was bad. Yeah. And this is how it's got to roll. And then he may find a better way to do it even than you do something because he's going to mess around with it. So you have to leave him alone.
So this let them theory really, really, really has changed my life. And really, it takes the stress off you. It takes like the frustration out of you. It's like, we got married in Mexico 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. Crazy.
It's almost our 6-year anniversary and 2-year wedding anniversary is coming up.
I think at some point you just say 2-year anniversary, like a 2-year wedding anniversary. I'm not going to be like I've only
been with you for 2 years. We've been together for 6 years. It's a big deal.
Yeah, it is for sure. But the 2-year wedding anniversary is what gets celebrated. Thankfully, it's the same date, so who cares, right? Same date.
I understand.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, let them. Let her think the way she thinks, and I'll think the way I think. But my point about it is that we got married in Mexico, and when you get married in a different country or a different location, some people can come, some people can't come, some people can't do it because of this or that or that. And it's like, there was some stresses going on in our conversations because, some people that were close to me, they couldn't make it, or close to you, but let them. This whole mindset changes everything for me. It's like, okay, whoever's there, I'm glad you're there. Whoever's not, I no hard feelings. I understand. It's all to the good. You understand though, like how that can really be a freeing mindset?
I mean, yeah, but I do think that I've embodied this longer than
you do.
I really do, because you, like I said earlier, like how you feel with Tristan is how I've been with you in my life, where I'm like, can I show you? I can't show you or tell you anything. I could never show you something
That's
new
not
in
true.
your
Give me
life.
an example.
I can't show you or tell you anything. Because even if it's something that I know that you don't know about, you'll be like, well, then I'm not interested in learning about it. Like, I don't want to learn anything about cooking. It's like, okay. So it's like,
I don't want to cook.
That's what I'm saying. So there is nothing like I could tell. If I told you there was a better way to do something, you would not care. Mm-hmm. So I have to leave you alone. I also had to learn how to, I personally think you have OCD undiagnosed.
Okay.
Because things affect you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is why this let them theory is really good for you to adapt, because
for me, okay,
you like really let things hang up. Well, I don't care if you're like, Kenzie, this is our day plan. We're doing this, and I'm like, all right, like that's not how I would have done it. I'll go, okay, and I'll move on, and that's what we'll do for the day.
Okay.
But if I tell you this is what we're doing today, you'd be like, well, that makes no sense, because if I run this error and then I can charge my car, and if I do this and I do this, and did you know that if you left 5 minutes earlier, you actually beat it's a whole. I would have to spend 45 minutes listening to you reconstruct something.
You are going to fault me for being efficient.
No. Listen to what I'm saying, though, honey. This is what I mean. Mm-hmm. No matter. But if I'm like, no, I want to do it in this order because of blank, blank, blank. You're like, no, because my reasonings are better than your reasoning. Like, you. And so I've been letting you for 6 years.
This is you letting me?
Yeah, I let you do. I'm always like, okay, sure. Yes, we'll do it that way. We'll do it this way. Sure, You can go there. You can do that. Sure.
So just to piggyback on this conversation right here is that Kenzie has been here for 6 years in Chicago. Yeah. 6 years. She still doesn't know like all the suburbs and whatever. So when she wants to do this, and this, I'm like, well, actually, it'd be better to do this because it's Lombard and then this. So like, I also help.
But you don't know everything. You don't know everything. And sometimes I want to go a certain way because I want to pass a certain store. I want to get a coffee.
And then I have a Tesla, so I do have to charge my car. So there are times when it's like, oh, you want to have this for lunch, but okay, we'll go here first because I could charge my car. So I don't think it's so much, I don't think your way is great. It's like, I do need
Yours
to do.
Yours is just always better.
From a geography standpoint and a car charging standpoint, I do think I have.
I only have these examples. You asked for one. Should we do the rest of the examples?
Give more. We have an hour. Go ahead. We have 45 minutes.
This is what I mean, though. This is probably how Tristan feels. Like, I'm putting it on first because I don't like the way my socks touch my jeans, so just don't worry about it. You guys are both like that. Like, people have reasons they're picking stuff out. It doesn't mean it's like, literally, there's a time that you were telling me to drive a certain way because it'll be faster. And I'm like, he doesn't know that I know this way is a Starbucks, and I'm trying to effing go to Starbucks. Like, I have a reason behind it. Right. You don't know that. So you're like, your reasons are better.
I'm trying to avoid Starbucks charges on a credit card.
Exactly.
Like, don't go that way.
Right.
Don't go that way.
So there's plenty of examples, but I've been doing this for a long time. I also feel like I have some characters in my family. I have a lot of different personalities in my family. I think everyone in your family is really similar. Mm-hmm. I feel like you guys are all kind of on the same page. Everyone in my family is not similar. Mm-hmm. So we all do things very differently. And so I've kind of had to do that with my brothers or my parents, or we all have a very different thought process on things. Yeah. All of us as a family.
That's true. Yeah.
And so I've always had to be like, like I did that. My brother didn't come to my wedding. Yeah. And like, I think there was he said he couldn't make it work because it's really hard to go to Mexico. I definitely think there was a few ways he could have made it work, but I never complained about it. I never got mad at him because that's, I've had to do this for a long time.
I'm glad you brought that up because I wasn't going to say it earlier, but like that is one of the ones I was talking about. And it did affect you pretty deeply. And my thing is with the let them theory, it's just kind of like, he's got his own reasons and just, okay, we're going to have fun no matter if he's there or not. And same with my side of the family or my friends. If they're there or not, we're going to have fun. I do feel like the let them theory truly takes like all the pressure off of you. And it really helps with your frustration. And also, you don't take things personal. Like, that's the thing is like, you don't take things personal when you have that let them theory and that mindset because it's like, well, whatever.
I do think you're missing something important about that theory.
Sure.
And the let them theory is also, that doesn't mean you're a doormat. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
So you can't be like, why let everybody do anything they want and we still have a good relationship? So you're supposed to allow people to do stuff because it's meaningless if you're constantly forcing people to do stuff. So if you're telling your husband, you never spend time with me. And by the way, this doesn't mean you shouldn't communicate your wants either. People aren't mind readers. So you should have conversations. But if you have open conversations and people are still choosing to do what they want, you should allow them to do that because that's truly what they want. They're maybe not changing for you, not hearing you. This is what don't want to be around you, don't want you around, whatever it is, right? Or they have their own personal stuff, or it's not even always you. Sometimes they have their own personal thing going on, right? But that doesn't mean in certain circumstances that you don't then decide how that relationship should move forward. Like if all your friends are leaving you out, they shouldn't be your friends anymore. Now, I'm not talking about a one-off, they had lunch or something.
Right.
You can't allow everything to hurt your feelings because at the end of the day, not everything's that deep. Mm-hmm. So that's part of the let them theory. Like my brother not coming to my wedding had nothing to do with me.
Right.
It had nothing to do with
me.
He
hated me. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, he didn't want us getting married.
Just kidding.
But it was so like that. If I was like, I don't love him anymore, that would be stupid because it wasn't involving me.
Yeah.
Now, if he consistently never ever cared about me, maybe that's somebody that I'm just not as close with anymore. Right. And I take that information. So just to clarify, because I know when my mom first heard about this, she was like, well, that's stupid. You shouldn't like you're just going to let everyone do whatever you want.
I feel like your mother actually
is queen of let them.
She follows this almost to a T. I was thinking about, when I was listening to the podcast, I was thinking about her. I was like, cause she kind of has that detachment, of like, let them and not take it to heart, not take it personal.
My mother is the queen of this theory. Mm-hmm. I respect my mom a lot because she also doesn't, all of her kids live in a different state. Every single one of them. Yeah. We all live somewhere else. She is so good about like, can you come for Christmas? No. Can you come for Thanksgiving? No. She would love to celebrate with you. If I told her every year, just so you know, every holiday, we're actually just going to celebrate a week earlier than the actual holiday with you. Okay. That's great. I would love to see. I'd love to in some way celebrate with you. Yeah. She's not like, oh, his family gets this. Oh, does that mean they're more important? She knows there's a million other factors. She does not let any of that kind of stuff bother her. Right. If you're not putting a lot into the relationship, she's like, okay, maybe they will eventually. And that has changed for her in certain relationships. Yeah. She's really, really good at this. Really good at it.
When I was listening, I actually thought of your mom. I was going to send her a link to it but it's funny you guys talked about it because I thought of her immediately because she has a lot of these traits and they're very good traits. And honestly, I'm going to try to implement them more into my life because I will say it is more of a freeing experience. And to piggyback on what you're saying earlier about it's not across the board. What's her name again?
Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins, sorry. I know the theory, but the girl, she says there are like 3 like caveats, if you will, and one of them is if you're being harmed, like if you're in a domestic abusive relationship, don't let them.
Yeah, so let them. No, horrible.
It's not across the board if you're like in harm's way, but for the most part, it is let people do what they do, and then you decide if you want them in your life or you want to date them or you want whatever.
Because I think of this from obviously this is a relationship based podcast, so take it from a relationship point of view. The whole let them theory, it's like but that doesn't mean people should read your mind. I think communication is still very, very important. Mm-hmm. So if you're like, my husband never joins me on walks, but I've never asked him to. Mm-hmm. That's not,
That's very specific to me right now.
No, I'm just giving you an example of like, if that's important to you, like, I wish he would take interest in my interest, or I wish this, but you've never communicated any of that. Like, it's good to share, like, it would mean a lot to me. And then allow them to or not to. And then what does that information mean to you? That after you've communicated and they know. So that's important.
So again, Mel Robbins, let them theory, really, really, I think everyone should at least listen to it and then decide if it's for you. I have found it to be very, very freeing. A specific example for Kenzie and Roman, actually, is something that has driven me nuts for a very, very long time, is this beautiful wife of mine. She is notorious for leaving cabinets open and drawers open. Mm-hmm. And we recently posted a video of our argument in that situation. My mind can't comprehend that you can open a cabinet and grab a cup or whatever, pour your iced tea or whatever you're pouring, and then just like not close the cabinet. Or you pull out a drawer and you pull out a fork and then you just don't close the drawer. I don't know how that works. My mind literally is
I would like to point out they're always partially closed because I tap them. I just don't slam them and then they stop. Okay. I don't open something and leave it. I usually push it. Yeah. And it doesn't, and I usually push stuff gently because I'm not slamming it. Right. And then it ends up, so it's like this much open.
Yeah. And so, this has happened a lot. This is not like a one-time deal. This is something that is very, she's notorious for doing this. And it bothers me. And I'll close it. And then I bring it up to her. I'm like, babe, like, what about this? In the video, I said, what about you is okay living like this with the drawer open and the cabinet open? Like, doesn't that,
because they're gonna
it drives me crazy
eventually.
By me, right?
No, but like I would eventually close them. Okay. What is the problem? Good. And this is what I mean about him is that it's like, if I leave a light on the house, he texts me a picture of the light instead of just turning the light off. And because you're kind of a psychopath. And
Right.
I have seen lights on in this house a million times. I've seen things that should be closed a million times. And I just close them or turn it off because I think choosing your battles, choosing what you nitpick on someone is important because you don't kind of constantly pick. You do ruin relationships that way in parenting, in with your significant other. If you feel like someone's just ragging on you every 4 seconds and they think they're right, it loses potency. It doesn't matter anymore. It's like you're always bitching about something is what starts to become the vibe.
Well, I'm not trying to nag. My hope is...
I do sometimes feel like you're always bitching about something.
My hope is that you just, after I say it a couple times, you
just do exactly what you want.
You would close the cabinet or close the drawer.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also times that you've let the water run. Like literally, like I walk into a bathroom and the sink has been running for hours.
That's
and
not
I'm
true.
like, babe, like, how are you not aware of this? Like when you're done washing your hands or whatever, like...
Again, I would like to say... I shut it off. It's like a trickle. Do you know? I've never like full like walked out of a room. It's been a trickle. How dare you act like I have full blown? Never.
The last one I posted was kind of not a trickle.
I've always like hit it and then it'll have like a trickle left or something.
Okay, yeah.
Like a little small.
It's
thing.
just it's great. You have so many great qualities about you.
We talk about them.
You really
so
do.
Often.
You have so many great qualities, but like, yeah, the water running or the cabinets not being closed or lights being on, like you don't care about those things at all. Like that is not part of your...
I feel like at the end of the day, you're coming out on top. I do a lot of cleaning. I do 100% of the cooking. I work. I bring in money too, right? I'm contributing in so many ways. Like shut a cabinet. You know what I mean? Like, is it that big of a deal?
And that is your go-to. Like when I was complaining about the cabinets and the drawers, you're like, I cook. I go, no one's saying you're a phenomenal cook. You are a phenomenal cook. You know, you are very clean in majority of this house, not your closet, but majority of this house, you are very, very, very
clean. Do you see
clean.
what I mean about always having something to say?
And so no one's saying you're not, but like the cabinets and the drawers are a completely different conversation than the cooking.
You
and
know
the
how
cleaning.
I take it?
How?
I take it as you almost looking at the negative. Like you have all of this and you're like, you know, the one thing I don't like. And that's why I go, look at all, like, that's almost why I'm putting it out. It's almost like it's almost like having the most perfect day besides this one thing. And then you talk about that. You know, that's how I feel.
To be fair, whenever you cook a meal, do I not compliment the hell out of it?
No, you do. I'm not saying that.
Do I not tell you how beautiful you are all the time?
No, for sure. I'm not saying that.
So I do both.
It just feels like, why, like out of all the things, like, so we just got done eating and everything's great and everyone's happy and I cooked a dinner and I helped clean it up and all this stuff. You think you wouldn't be like, this drawer, damn it. Like, you think you just have a good day.
Well, you'll be happy to know. You'll be very happy to know that the let them theory has changed my mind.
I owe Mel Robbins money.
And you have left cabinets open since our little argument, and I've closed them without bringing them up to you. And it's like, you know what? This is who you are. I love who you are. I married you for a reason, obviously. And so this is just part of who you are. You just once in a while, you're careless about drawers and cabinets and sinks and waters.
I think there's things about you.
I'll just let it go.
I just don't think you realize there's things about you that bother me, but I don't nitpick you. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference between us.
We have some time left. Do you want to talk about the things that bother you about me?
No, but
why?
No, so it's
I want to be better
because you don't want to.
I want to get better. I do. You can always, thrive for a better version of yourself. So help me out.
No.
What?
No, I'm just saying there's things that I don't like about you.
You're just a blanket statement. There's just things.
But I just don't like get after them, every 4 seconds. So.
All right. Well, no more. You will never hear me talk about a cabinet or a drawer or the water running.
Or the lights.
I just shut them off.
Thank you.
I will spend a lot of my years left shutting off lights and cabinets and drawers and turning off faucets.
Quietly.
Very quietly, yeah.
I can't wait.
Very quietly.
I can't wait to not get pictures sent to me. Or when you go, are you done in the pantry? And I'm upstairs in bed. I am so looking forward.
Those are, come on. It makes you smile a little bit, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. I've actually never once smiled. That's the irony of it.
That's pretty funny. I do that. You're right.
Oh, God. You're a hoot. You're just chip off the old black.
All right. So anyways, the one more thing that I have to talk about here is that it's, as parents, because this is a relationship podcast, but it's also parenting. We are parents now to 2 boys, right?
That's, a big part of our relationship is parenting these children who are just like always here. They're always here.
Yeah, I mean, I told you that's how it is. That's how parenting is.
Always here.
So our 10-year-old Tristan is in 5th grade, and this is the first time. It's crazy for me because I mean, this is my little boy. Like, it's crazy that he's 10 and a half, but it's also crazy that he has developed his first crush on a girl, and I am like, it's so weird for me that my little boy. He now likes a certain girl in his school. We're not going to say her name, but it started around Valentine's Day when he said to me, he goes, Dad, he goes, I have a crush on so-and-so. And I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, I actually want to buy her candy for Valentine's Day.
Like a heart box
of
candy.
Yeah. Specifically, he wanted to buy her a heart box of candy.
He was so specific about it.
For this girl. And he had a whole plan. He wanted to put it in her, they're not in the same class. He wanted to have his teacher give it to her teacher and then her put it in the desk of this girl.
He's still in elementary school.
Yeah, 5th
so
grade.
That's what, yep.
So I was like, wow. And so Kenzie was really, really cool. She wanted to step in and she wanted to take him shopping for the Valentine's Day box, right?
Yes. So we went to Target and he was very excited. He was like, he wanted to buy it, which good.
With his own money.
With his own money. That's what I mean. So he wanted to buy it with his own money. Because I asked him, I go, would you be willing to buy it? And he goes, yeah, of course I want to buy it for her. And I go, good. I go, because if you're not willing to spend your own money on her, then you don't like her that much. So that was his first life lesson.
Yeah.
So we went to Target. He brought his little Target gift card. And we spent over 30 minutes.
Crazy.
Flipping over boxes of chocolates, reading all the flavors, comparing sizes. He actually picked out the biggest one they had, and it was insane. Wow. It was like you wouldn't be able to see him behind it. And I go, okay, you can get whatever one you want. I'm just here to help, guide, offer advice. I go, you did say that you wanted it to be a secret. I go, this will not fit in your backpack, so you're going to have to walk into school holding it. I go, if you're comfortable with that, let's get it. But I didn't want him to be like, oh no, that's it. And he then set it back down and we went back again. But we spent over 30 minutes picking one out. It ended up being a Godiva one with the right assorted flavors because we were making sure there wasn't like too much peanut butter or anything because she didn't like it. And it was a really like special time. We took a picture of him and he goes, don't post it. I'm like, I'm not going to post it.
Yeah. So I mean,
but I just want to have that forever.
So the crazy part was, he did not want her to know it was from him. He wanted it to be a secret.
Right.
And so he had this whole thing. He wanted to write like on a Post-it note or whatever, a card that said to so-and-so, from his teacher's classroom, parentheses, not your best friend. So like he like had this whole thing of like making. I go Tristan. I go, why don't you just like be like to so and so from your secret admirer? And he goes, no offense, Dad, but that sounds kind of stalkerish. Like, so I'm a secret admirer. I was like, what's people know what that means?
I go, Tristan, that is like the normal saying when it's a secret. Like that's the normal thing to write. This isn't. We didn't just make it. He looked at us. We were such loser parents. Like we just made that up. I go, that's what it is.
So it was so cute. I still put in the bed. I put Marino to bed. I put Tristan to bed. So I lay in his bed for one musical cycle, and we talk a little bit when I put him to bed, and he's like, he was so nervous to ask his teacher if he could do this, and then he was so nervous for his teacher to ask her teacher because also too the school does not allow chocolate.
He had to get approval to make sure she wasn't allergic to stuff.
He had to get special approval that he could bring this box of chocolates for her. So it was so cute to see him like so nervous and so excited and all these different things. Finally, we agreed that he was going to go with secret admirer. He's like, all right, to so-and-so from secret admirer, and then he came home one day from school before this all happened, and he was so upset. He was like, Dad, oh my gosh, one of my classmates who I told her best friend, and I'm afraid she's gonna know. And he was really distraught. And listen,
and we were like, laugh. Honey, I go, it's good though. You did something nice. I go, what if another guy says he did it and she starts liking him? Wouldn't you hate that?
So we can laugh about it because but in a 5th grade mind, this is a big deal.
Ultimate meltdown mode.
This is a big deal. So anyways, he goes, and he thought of it all on his own. He goes, you know what I'm going to do, Dad? Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, because that's when she gets a surprise in the morning. He goes, I'm going to go up to her at lunch, and I'm going to ask her to be my Valentine. I'm like, whoa.
In front of the lunchroom.
Where did this come from?
How did we go from nobody can know about the box to I'm going to ask in front of the entire lunchroom?
So, oh my God, that night I was so nervous with him, and he was nervous, but he was excited, and he thought of it all himself. So I said the next morning, I go, buddy, good luck. I go, here's the deal. I go, listen, I'm so proud of you. You thought of this plan. You spent your own money. You went through all the steps. I go, if she says yes, that's great. If she says no, I'm still proud of you because you did this, and you had the confidence to do it. I go, just text me at lunchtime and let me know what she says. And sure enough, what happens? He texts me, you, and my mom around 12:30, and all he wrote was, she said yes.
It was so cute. You don't even understand the way my heart felt when I got that text.
Yeah.
He was so excited. He was bouncing off the walls. And what's really weird is like, so he's in junior high next year, and that's in like a few months. There's only a few months left of school, right? He's so close to junior high, and he's going to be 11 in 2 months, right? He's going to be 11. And this year, he really went from like a kid to a teenager vibe, like officially likes somebody, and he's even like been emailing her and stuff.
That's the funny part is like, so on the Chromebooks they have like their school Gmail, I guess it is.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what made him check it, but he goes, Dad, she emailed me back in November and then twice in January. He's like, I don't check my Gmail.
He's like, oh no. And so he's like, I'm so sorry. I haven't checked my Gmail in ever. So I'm so sorry. And now they Gmail every day. Yeah. And he was in the kitchen the other day and we're like, what are you doing on your Chromebook? And he got all nervous and walked out. Like he is having conversations with a girl that he doesn't even want us to see. It's obviously so nothing bad, but just like nervous.
I love it. It's so cute.
It's so cute. But I went, oh my God. Like we now have to wake him up for school. He sleeps in so late. He does the whole like, bro, when you need him to do a chore thing. Because when kids are little, they're like, what chore? What am I learning how to do? He's like, bro. Yeah. He likes girls. He really had this switch this year where I'm like, we are getting teenage energy. 1,000%. It kicked in.
It's awesome.
He doesn't even like, when like little kids wake up and they're ready to bounce off the walls. He wakes up and he wants to take it easy. Yeah. He's just like vegging. Like, it's like, oh my God, like we have like a teenager in this
I'll tell you, I was very nervous when he was like going to ask her to be his Valentine. And I was like, I prayed. I was like, man, because here's the deal. We've all gone through heartbreak before, right? And I know it's a 5th grader. It won't, but like still, you don't want your kids to go through like rejection.
Still could be so embarrassing.
Yeah, you know. So she said yes. I felt good.
We were like high fiving each other at home.
I got that text. I really had tears in my eyes. I'm like, yeah. It was almost like he told me he proposed and like she said yes. So all she said yes to was being his Valentine.
And then they awkwardly walk away from each other because they're in 5th grade. But you know what? My thing with Tristan is he's like borderline. Sometimes he's like star of the show and sometimes he's super shy. He goes back and forth. So I was really proud of him for being able to do something in front of so many people that was so risky. And you don't want that to blow up in front of your kid's face because you don't want them to be like, I'm not going to make a risk like that again. Especially at this age. Like eventually as adults, we know that risks are risks. But when you're young, it's nice to get some positive feedback on the risks. So you're willing to keep like, putting yourself out there. So I really didn't want that to blow up in front of his face, in front of people.
I know.
Make him not like his Valentine's Day because we had an awesome Valentine's Day box and he was all excited. He had such positive energy. You just didn't want the bubble to get burst.
That's the thing is like he's had a very, very blessed 5th grade. I mean, he really has had no speed bumps, and speed bumps are coming. I know it, but I don't want them to come. let this kid's road be smooth for both the boys, And
but the good news is getting at a minimum, because speed bumps are going to happen in life. And sometimes they happen way later. You never know. Yeah. I feel like your late life, like yours were late in life. But the good news is about what's happening now is you gain the confidence to know things can be good. It's hard when they happen young because sometimes you're like, is this how things always are? Is this how I don't want to put myself at risk. I don't want to put myself out there. So he's building up confidence to know it can go well. So if something goes bad, he has the ability to go, well, I know it goes well sometimes.
Well, so far, knock on wood, everything's been good for that kid. Thank God.
So good. I want to come back in another life as Tristan. His life is awesome.
Same. But yeah, so there it is, man. The season 2 premiere of the Romance Podcast. Now, I want to ask you a serious question before we sign off, okay? Season 1, I had this like awesome tagline. Everyone loved it. People were calling in and emailing us about it. All right. Like, do I end season 2 every episode with our tagline, or do you hate it and I should not do that?
You can do it. I think it's your thing.
Yeah? You like it?
I'm going to let you do it.
Okay. See? We are both executive producers of this podcast, so I can't keep doing it without the co-executive producer signing off on it. So because she did, remember, you cannot spell romance without Roman.